Greetings. I'm Dr. Sheree, and I'd like to welcome you to my masterclass entitled Drive 5 Keys to Leading Yourself and Being the Change You Seek. I also want to celebrate you and your choice to live differently because you don't even get into a virtual space like this and hang out in a fabulous community like the Hivery unless you've chosen to live differently. So even though we're virtual, I see you and I celebrate you. And I'm so glad you're here. So let's go ahead and begin with a really quick introduction. As I mentioned, I'm Dr. Sheree Sekou, and I'm a leadership development professional and coach. And for the past 16 years, I've been designing and delivering learning experiences that catalyze change in leaders and learners all over the globe. I rocked my side hustle for several years while working full time before leaning out of full time corporate work in about 2015 to start my consulting firm, Sheree Sekou Consulting. We partnered with corporations, nonprofits, and educational institutions to deliver some of the programs we just mentioned. I'm also the author of What a Difference a Change Makes, 21 Jewels of Wisdom for Living Your Treasured Life. I'm from a small rural town in Texas, and I currently reside in Pearland, Texas, and the beautiful U.S. Virgin Islands. I help leaders and learners elevate their competency and capacity to thrive through change, which is so very important now. And fun fact about me, I have a serious wanderlust. Just a little bit more about my work. I absolutely love my work. And this first image you see here on the left is me facilitating a workshop based on the principles of my book. What that image does not show is all of the years and tears of starting and stopping and all of the no's I had to say in order to finally say yes to finishing. I leaned out of full time corporate work, not because I didn't like my work, I love my work, but I really wanted a little bit more freedom and flexibility. I wanted to be able to take care of myself better and be there for my family. And I wanted more time to work in my passion. You'll see that second picture is me doing the equal for equal sign. I am passionate about serving women and girls, but please, 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 please don't let these pictures or these degrees fool you because I might clean up well, but let me tell you, I have been through some things. I like to tell people I have been into some things and I've hit some steel walls, some glass ceilings. I've been faced with some incredible challenges. I have literally and figuratively been through the fire. And I've been fortunate enough to move into and through it and emerge on the other side, right? And I know that I'm not alone. Many of you have gone through an enormous amount of challenges to be where you are today. And that's why I celebrate you so much. And I'll say this any measure of success that you see in my life today is a result of two things. The first thing is my faith and spiritual practice, that kind of faith that allows me to hang in there even when I'm afraid, when I want to throw in the towel through adversity and loss. So I'm really grateful for that. And also, the second is my ability to be willing to accept and embrace change and thrive through change and even use change in a positive way. So, most of the work I do with individuals is around self leadership and harnessing the power of change to create a better life and a better world. So, that's why I do what I do. And just a little bit about what we're going to learn today. Today, I want to give you 5 keys for setting goals and seeing them to fruition. I want to share some simple yet powerful decision making strategies for dealing with those inevitable forks in the road. And I want to share my favorite rituals and practices for overcoming planning fallacy, procrastination, and other roadblocks to success. Because what I know for sure is this whenever we decide to live differently, and I mean really live differently, it requires change. And for those of you who hold a powerfully new and expanded vision for your life, for your family, and your community. And if what you have in mind is wildly different than where you are today, know that it's going to involve change. So let's get started and learn those 5 keys to navigating through change so you can lead yourself and be the change you seek. The first one, and all of them first, is drive, is what it's called, is drive. And that's to determine your destination. Make sure you recognize the signs and symbols invest in yourself, venture out of your comfort zone, and enjoy the journey. So now let's dig into the first one a little bit, which is determine your destination. Now, sometimes you might be willing and ready to make positive change, but not quite sure where to begin. Perhaps you've been dreaming about starting a new business venture, or maybe you want to publish your first book or write a screenplay. Whether you are a leader or entrepreneur who's ready to get in gear and finally get going on that new project or that personal professional goal, or maybe you're multi passionate. If you are, I see you, I am you, right? And you're finally ready to navigate beyond procrastination and take the actionable steps needed to launch that business or design that new life. Whatever the case may be, maybe you just need a little additional clarity and confidence to begin again and again. You've got to determine your destination, because determining your destination is all about knowing, and knowing is beautiful and knowing is powerful. Knowing where you are going gives you the confidence that you need to keep going when the times get tough. And it can help to ease some of the worry that can pop up when you lack clarity. So, a couple of things to notice about this key: be sure to really analyze where you are now and where you're headed, and go ahead and be very honest with yourself on that. And then also, it's important for you to look at what is your best next step. So, some of the folks I coach look all the way down the road, and being strategic is fine, but they get stuck and they're unable to make incremental progress on their dreams. So don't forget to think about what your best next step is. The most empowering thing that you can do to lead yourself and be the change you seek is to decide. So go ahead and decide and determine your destination and decide where you want to go. For my multi passionate ones, if you're on the fence, then just decide a good place to begin. Okay, so that is number one. Number two is to recognize the signs and symbols. Now, have you ever summoned the courage to finally make a decision about something and then later question whether or not it was the right one? I have done this before, and I don't know about you, but I have yet to make a decision that didn't have an accompanying sign or a gentle nudge from my internal guidance system. So while traveling along your soulful change journey, it's important, critically important, to recognize the signs and symbol. This is where we ease out of our head and drop down into our heart and heart centered listening and action. So I want you to take some time to listen to what you hear around you. Couple things to think about is just be on the lookout for the signs and signals that confirm you are headed in the right direction. Take a time out and maybe tap out to tune into your intuition and your inner guide. Be on the lookout for the intersection between what you love and what you offer and the demand in the marketplace. And then again, take a time out and just ask yourself, what do I need to know? Am I in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing? And then take some time to listen to the messages of your body and heart, because they are there. And I love this quote by Denise Lynn: in every moment, the universe is whispering to you. You're constantly surrounded by signs and coincidences and synchronicities, all aimed at propelling you in the direction of your destiny. So please be sure to tune in to your intuition and that inner guide for direction. Keep your antennas up, right? And keep your view unobstructed, because when you do this, you open yourself up to receive divine confirmation on your direction. So that's two. Step number three, key number three, is to invest in yourself. Some things to consider here are: what knowledge and skills and support do you need to set yourself up for success? What are you willing and able, or are you willing and able to invest in yourself to get what you desire? I have a quick story about this. I'll admit it has taken me some time to really understand the true value of investing in myself. And after dropping out of 7 different colleges and universities, and that's just for undergrad, I finally got clear and focused and serious and committed about investing in myself through formal education. And I'll admit I was very on the fence as it relates to going to grad school, mainly because I'd gone through a fire. My finances were definitely a hot mess. And so I just wasn't clear. I didn't have that clarity to know where to begin next. So I gave myself permission to take a time out for about a year and investigate some schools and do some work. And I remember sharing this situation with a close, trusted girlfriend of mine, and she listened to me intently and she leaned in like she was going to give me a hug and pat me on the back and say, "Yes, I get it, and take all the time you need." And you know what she said? She leaned in and she said, "That's the stupidest thing I've heard all day." She said, "People spend time on cars, they invest in houses and cars and in bags and all kinds of things like this. But when it's time to invest in their learning, people stall. They're not exactly sure." And then I let what she said kind of land on me. I processed it a little bit. And then later on, she went on to say that she was still paying for the tuition for her son's K through 12 education because she knew that investment would really put him on the road to success. So, what I'll say to you is this: I've been consistently able to leverage the skills and knowledge that I learned to advance my career and to take on leadership roles, which has been great. When I got serious about my consulting practice, I invested in leadership development or business development coaching because I knew I needed help to grow and expand my business. I've invested in retreats and seminars around health and wellness and spiritual practice. And even today, I remain committed to investing my time, my money, and heart and soul into creating environments for personal and professional success. And so when you think about investing, just another thing to think about, it helps to remember that while passion is incredibly important to fuel you along your journey, passion is just not the same as preparation. You can lead yourself and be the change you seek by choosing to sow into your dreams. Pick up some books on the subjects that you love. Spend some time listening to your favorite podcast. Remember, you are a worthy investment. Never, never, never underestimate the value of investing in yourself and never doubt your worthiness because your dreams deserve time, attention, money, and energy and space to grow and to blossom into reality. I love it. And you can give yourself permission to invest in yourself. Now, the fourth but very important key is to venture outside of your comfort zones. If you know me, I am all about a sweet adventure and I dance to the beat of my own drum. But it wasn't always that way. And I'll tell you, here's the thing: every time I've tried to shrink and contort and adjust myself into other people's expectations, perceptions for me in my life, it has never or rarely worked. If you want to lead yourself and be the change you seek, you've got to acknowledge that we're all on our own path. And isn't that beautiful, right? We're all on our own paths. It took me a very long time to just realize and accept that truth. But today, now I own it. Most days, I really, really own it. And, acknowledging this truth just gives me the peace and it kind of encourages me to continue because let's face it, the path that we take on now might be completely different from that of our parents or our siblings and our partners, even the people in our community and our closest friends. Perhaps you've taken the high road, right? Perhaps some of you are called to go off the beaten path and take the road less traveled. It can be really, really tough to break away from our comfort zone. So, here are a couple of things to consider. Don't allow your desire for comfort to be stronger than your desire for positive change. And please remember, you're on your own path, even if people don't understand. So just own it. Just own it. Really nice quote about this is that life begins at the end of your comfort zone. So if you're feeling uncomfortable right now, know that the change taking place in your life is the beginning, not the ending. So the journey might be a bit uncomfortable, but there's no need to give up, right? Just adjust if you must, but don't give up. You might have to venture out and beyond and leave some of those comfort zones behind to become more comfortable than you've ever imagined. I invite you to release the safety brakes, to feel the fear, and to do it anyway. And I challenge you to venture out just beyond your comfort zones and experiment a bit because you might be surprised at what you'll discover. Now, one caveat about venturing out, I want you to be on the lookout and watch out for frequent detours and other bright, shiny objects that might inadvertently take you completely off course. So, for a simple yet powerful decision making strategy, just ask yourself, is this journey, is this path on my way, or is it potentially in the way of my dreams and goals? You're the leader, so you get to decide. Okay, so that's number four. And number five is last but certainly not least, it's enjoy the journey. Now, when it comes time to enjoy the journey, let me tell you, I will find a way to make this happen because creating positive change takes time, right? It takes time to consider what you must change and how you will change things for the better. It takes time for testing new ideas in the marketplace, finding a new job or career, launching a new business, or reshaping your relationships or your body. Choosing positive change is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself, but it's a marathon, right? It's not a sprint. So, for a more simple and soulful approach to positive change, decide to enjoy yourself along the journey. Decide to really enjoy yourself so that we don't miss out on the beauty that already exists in our life. So a couple things to remember is know that you are on a journey and you've got to carve out space to enjoy it. Be patient with yourself and be kind to those around you. Give yourself a special treat to reward your progress. Even little things deserve reward. So you've got so much to be grateful for and so much good in store. And remember to take good time and good care of yourself and make sure you're on the lookout for joy along the way. And here's the thing, don't forget to engage in self care, get regular tune ups, and have your maintenance happening as well. So sometimes it's important to make pit stops because you've got to refuel so you can get back out there and get going in the direction of your dreams. And just another note about self care. I love this quote from Angela Davis, and it's anyone who's interested in making change in the world also has to learn how to take care of herself, himself, and their self. I love this quote so much. So, in the spirit of self care, I want to share a couple of rituals and practices that I found to be very useful in overcoming the planning fallacy, overcoming procrastination, and other roadblocks to success. So, first, you can avoid falling prey to planning fallacy by keeping your eye on your goals. Now, when we set our goals, we want them to be smart, right? We want them to be achievable and reasonable. But please make sure that your goals are stretched, but not too stressful. You should feel like you're stretching yourself beyond your comfort zones, but there's no need to stress yourself out or harm yourself because that can be demoralized. So you be the leader and you be the judge. The second is around overcoming procrastination. So I'd love to tell my coaching clients to leverage your peak time in work and community. And for me, my peak time starts at about 10 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes it breaks in the early afternoon, and it starts back again in the evening. So when I have very important tasks to cover and my most critical things to get out there in the world, I try to do those in my peak time. And working in the community has done wonders for me. I love being a member of the Hivery, and it's a beautiful way to stay connected and get additional accountability and support along your journey. That third one, sleep. Oh my goodness, I could write a book about that. Getting sufficient rest is critical to your leadership and your love of yourself and others. And I have to tell you, there's just no substitute for sleep. And there's no way around it. And then, last but not least, our love knows. We've got to be willing to say no so you can say no to yourself and to your goals, which is so very, very important. I've been growing my 24/6 practice, which includes a 24-hour digital detox every week. And it helps so much when I'm able to just clear my mind, check in with myself and my family. When I don't get this time, I feel so much more depleted when I approach my work. But boy, when I get it, I feel so refreshed. So, just a couple of things to remember. And so, as you continue to lead yourself and be the change you seek, remember to use these 5 keys to definitely advance yourself along your change journey. Until we meet again, I want you to remember to take exquisite care of your dreams and your goals and yourself, and be sure to love on yourself and others. And until next time, I'm wishing you peace, pleasure, and a life you treasure. If you'd like to stay connected, feel free to connect on Instagram at Your Treasured Life, or go to yourtreasuredlife.com to learn more about how to thrive through change and how to live a life you love. You can also find my book there as well. I appreciate your time, which is your most precious gift, and I'm wishing you all the best. See you soon.